This week on Kayak Bassin, Chad Hoover's taking his hunt for big bass north across the border to Canada's Ottawa Valley, where he's hooking up with local angler and Kayak Bassin producer Ken Whiting.
So we're on the Ottawa River, my backyard. We're launching to get to a place called the Marshes, which is a little bay off the side of the river. Not many people know about it, but it's a huge bay filled with lily pads. Great place for spawning bass, and with the spring being as late as it is, there's a good chance they're in there right now.
What we really want to find out today is what is Ken's O voice, and what I mean by that is it's really simple. In fact, he makes fun of me quite often if I throw a lure out and it's on the fall and the fish picks it up. There's that ooh, 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 oh, 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 like that. So I want you to pay really close attention, and we want to try to isolate what Ken's O voice is.
Whoa, that was a good hit. Oh, there we go. A bass. Oh, there we go. Oh. I almost lost the rod.
That was the most awkward hook set.
Oh, the rod came completely out of my hand. I had fish slime on my hand. So we're just above the Rocher Fondue section of the Ottawa River. The Rocher Fondue section is the whitewater section. It's a world-renowned whitewater section. You don't get many kayak anglers around here, or many boaters, because access isn't that great for boats, and you've got current, you got rocks. It's just not super boat friendly, but it's great for kayak fishing.
Bass.
So many channels. We're about to go into the Marshes area, and there's just channels galore, and including a big, beautiful lily pad field. Hopefully we'll find some spawning bass in there. Monster. See how big it is? I learned that from Chad. Chad just wishes he could catch fish like I am. How's it going over there, Chad? You got a few I saw?
Nope. Just hanging up in grass. First rule of fishing competition is propaganda. Deception, misdirection, pretty much anything but the truth. Hey! So far what this means is I've taken first fish, most fish, and that's definitely the biggest fish we've caught today.
She's a bass. Got it on the same Evolve Dark Star Swimmer. This thing's got incredible action underwater. It's caught a ton of pike already. It's taken a bunch of pike hits, but I learned my lesson, and I've got a wire leader going on right now. It snags a bit in coming through the grass and the pads, but it's still catching lots of fish. Give me that back.
All right, guys, we're gonna pull out for a bit, go have some lunch, and we'll be right back with more kayak bass fishing action. Well, guys, we got held off the water a little longer than we expected by a midday rainstorm. The wind is gone, the rain is gone, the mosquitoes are back, and we're gonna head out and see if we can find some big bass. One of the challenges to shooting a fishing show when your production team, producer, cameraman doesn't know anything about fishing is that you have to guide that person through not just the fishing part, but actually how to shoot the show to make it come across as genuine and realistic.
Right by the boat. Thank you for making your appearance, little bass.
So one of the unique challenges that I'm gonna face today is I'm used to doing both of our jobs when Ken's on that side of the camera. Today, I'm gonna have to guide him through fishing as well as guide the cameraman. So I've got like a double challenge on my hands. I don't have to just teach him how to shoot fishing and how to make it authentic. I've actually have to teach him how to do it. And unfortunately, people are gonna expect him to catch fish because he's been following the guru around for over 2 years. And so if I don't make him look good and make him catch fish, then it makes me look bad. So I'm kind of in a conundrum here. I've got to make the guy look like he can catch fish, and at the same time, teach a new cameraman how to shoot this and make it look authentic. So got a tough challenge ahead of me today.
So a lot of people don't realize that as the producer, director of Chad's show, that one of my primary roles is to tell Chad where to catch fish and tell him what to throw and how to work his lure through the water. He needs that help, but people don't realize that that's all behind the scenes. And so when I come out fishing with him for this show, it's kind of a win-win for me. You know, when I outfish him, which is highly likely, it'll be clear to everybody that that's the truth, that I'm the real angler behind the scenes that's calling the shots.
That bass hit that thing as soon as it hit the water. It had to be laying under the surface with his mouth open. A lot of folks are used to fishing baits like a swim bait or a zoom horny toad, and after a fish hits it and it tears the nose out, that bait's hanging like that, the bait's pretty much done. With these impact soft plastic with this unique keeper, you can just take that bait back off, slide the pin in the nose, pop it in there, squeeze it down so it grips the inside, line your hook back up, you re-rig it, and you'll get quite a few more fish out of it. The other cool thing about it is, on the ones that have the screw lock, there's the little tab that always catches grass, and on this one you can slide it right up to the edge, and then when you rig your bait, it doesn't have that arch in the back like you tend to have with the screw lock type. As it goes into the nose, so the bait lays a lot flatter, so it runs a lot truer and binds up a lot less. So check out the Impact Soft Plastic series of hooks from Mustad to prolong the life of your baits and make them run a little truer. Little guy. See, and that's what's frustrating when you catch a bunch of them and they just tear your plastics up. And man, I'm telling you, with this little plastic insert, that bait is still good to go for half a dozen more fish.
Time to tie a leader on, a wire leader. There's a lot of pike in here right now. Already had a couple of frogs bitten off. I don't like using the wire leader if I can avoid it. It screws around with the action, but it doesn't matter how good the action is if you keep losing your lures.
All right, so let me take a second and tell you about the boats that we chose for this Canadian adventure. First, the Wilderness Systems Commander 140 that I'm fishing in, and the Rod 135 that Ken's fishing from. Ken's fishing in the new Phase 3 elevated Air Pro 3 seat, which makes standing and sitting down much easier. There's a lot of cubbies on the side to stow your stuff and a pocket underneath for storing your tackle box. The great thing about the Commander 140 is you've got plenty of room to lay your gear in between your legs. You've got the fold and stow seat with the elevated seating position for the captain's perch. If you like to stand and fish and also sit and fish, the two best boats on the market, in my opinion, are the Commander 140 and the Rod 135.
Stay tuned for lots more kayak bass fishing action as Chad makes the move to one of Ken's backyard ponds.
Here, open that log.
Welcome back to Wilderness Systems Kayak Bassin. This week, Chad Hoover's looking for big bass north of the border in Ontario's Ottawa Valley.
You know, one of the great things about this area is you can spot hop from place to place and fish for all kinds of different species. We've pulled out and headed to another little pocket that's actually in the neighborhood of Heliconia Press, and we're gonna go in and target some of these feisty smallmouth.
So we are about 100 to 200 meters from home. and from the Heliquina office. This is literally the lake in our backyard. It's also the reservoir, the drinking water for the town.
Oh.
So there's no motorized traffic on it. There's no actual public access. This is all private water. They get some good sized bass in here, but a lot of numbers, and hopefully they'll be biting. There we go. Hey, buddy.
A little better fish. Come here, dude.
As it always has been on this lake, fish are small but plentiful. I was working a Cinco, and the fish were so small that they weren't really taking the hook, and so I threw this secret weapon sidearm spinnerbait on, and with the exposed hook, bam, 4 in a row, 4 casts, 4 fish, and see if we can make it 5. Five casts, 5 fish. Love it. They don't need to be big. It's not gonna win any size awards, but that'll put a smile on your face.
I'll tell you what, guys, these fish might not be big, but sitting here and pitching a Wacky rig Cinco up into a treetop and watching 10 bass come out and twitching it towards the one you want and seeing them eat it, that's fun no matter how big the bass are.
There we are. 6 for 6. We come out here for lunch. Brendan and Mark, who's our sales and marketing director, we come out here for lunch for about an hour and a half and bang out routinely 50 fish. Again, nothing big. We've caught, the biggest we've caught here is 5 pounds, which is not a bad bass, but nothing, I've never heard of anything bigger than that caught here. But it doesn't matter, you come out for an hour and you bang out 50 fish. Life is good. 7 for 7. Oh, there we go.
So one of the most effective lures that you can throw for bass is the Cinco, and one of the best ways to throw that Cinco is Wacky rigged. But I see a lot of folks fishing baits Wacky rigged doing one of two things. They're either hooking the hook through the plastic, which tears it up, and let's face it, these things aren't cheap. And in any way that you can save money when you're out on the water is a great tip. So I want to share one with you. This tool right here is basically a Wacky rig tool. You can make it out of an ink pen yourself, or you can find one ready to go at a store. You simply put a screw in the end. You can do the exact same thing if you make your own. Just put a screw in the end, you put your O-rings over the end and stack them up, and you kind of wet the tube and slide that O-ring up there just like that. What I like to do is, the balance point is at the back of the fat ring on the Cinco, so you just slide that in there and hold it, push the ring down, pop the ring off just like that, and it allows you to thread that ring onto the bait, super easy. Then simply take your hook, slide it under the ring, you've got an effective, clean, weedless profile for dropping those Cincos into tight places. You've got a nice clean setup, and you don't tear your Cincos up quite as bad. So little Wacky rigging O-ring tool is a great way to prolong your plastics, add a little more action to your bait, and get a lot more fish out of each one of them.
Welcome back to Wilderness Systems Kayak Bassin. This week, Chad Hoover's joined show producer Ken Whiting in Canada on his never-ending search for big bass.
Okay.
Oh, man. Oh, look at that. Wow, what a heck of a way to finish the day. Man, that is a toad, especially for north of the border. Wow. Corner of the mouth every time. It's awesome. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there, buddy. Woo! Come here, over that log. I gotta be quiet because there's a bunch of people that live here. That's a toad, baby. That is a toad right there, especially for a Canuck bass. Look at that mouth. Look at that gut. Wow. Let's get him on the boga and see how big he are. 6 pounds in Canada, baby. That's what's up right there. Tell you what, it's been a heck of a year, but to come into Canada, look at the freaking gut on this dude. Wow. To come to Canada and catch a mini Monica is just amazing. Look at that dude. Okay guys, normally we try to pick a specific technique and dial in what we had the most success on. On this trip, we have caught a ton of fish, so it's gonna be hard to do that. Let me talk about our top 3 producers. First, the Dark Star Swimmer from Evolve was unbelievable. When paired up with the Mustad Impulse soft plastic hooks, that thing made an unbelievable presentation coming through the lily pads in that back bay off the Ottawa River. Here at this lake, the sidearm spinnerbait and the Cinco were the top 2 producers. Ken hammered the fish on the sidearm from Secret Weapon, and I caught the 2 biggest fish of the entire trip on the Cinco Wacky rig. Now, the connector to all of this, the tool that let us put all these fish in the boat, was the sensitive power provided by All Pro rods. Well, Ken, I tell you what, man, this has been an amazing trip. Had a good time, caught the big fish that I came after. That's considered a Monica north of the border when it's over 6 pounds. You know, it's not the double-digit mouth down south, but when you go over 6, north of the Canadian border, I think that's considered a Monica. Tons of fish, pretty good pike action, lots of topwater, unbelievable scenery. Man, I'll tell you what, thanks for having me up here, and thanks for getting on this side of the camera for a change. And we still have a score to settle, don't we? Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we'll see you next week for more kayak bass fishing action. Last fish. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, the fish came off. You know what? Whether you're new to kayak fishing or you're looking to give kayak fishing a try, visit Hook One at kayakfishinggear.com for the latest in kayak fishing accessories, kayaks, and you know what? If you don't see something that you like, give us a call and we'll make sure we add it. Wow, nice fish.